At 5:47 a.m. Eastern, the Weather Prediction Center quietly released one sentence that changes everything. A major multi-phase storm system will impact virtually every region of the contiguous United States over the next 7 days. Read that again. Every single region. This is not a localized tornado outbreak. This is not just another rainy week. This is a coast-to-coast atmospheric assault unfolding in real time. From the Pacific Northwest to the Rockies, to the Plains, to the Midwest, to the Gulf Coast, to the Northeast, every corner of the country is about to be hit by something dangerous. And the worst part? The atmosphere is only now beginning to wake up. Out over the Pacific, an enormous upper-level trout has been digging southward, dragging unusually cold air straight out of the Gulf of Alaska. But below it sits an abnormally warm ocean and moisture-rich air mass that has been building heat for weeks. That clash is catastrophic fuel. Cold air crashing into warm tropical moisture creates violent instability, the kind of instability capable of producing monster storm systems that survive all the way across the United States without weakening. And the models are no longer backing away from it. The American GFS, the European model, the Canadian guidance, all three have now locked onto the same scenario for days straight. Meteorologists know what that means. Confidence is rising, fast. The Pacific Northwest gets hit first. A powerful atmospheric river is expected to slam into Washington, Oregon, and Northern California with torrents of rain capable of triggering flash flooding, mudslides, river flooding, and mountain washouts. Some areas could see rainfall rates so intense it may look more like a tropical cyclone than a normal Pacific storm. Then comes the snow. As the system crashes inland, temperatures collapse across the higher elevations. Major mountain passes could become nearly impossible to travel through as heavy snow and rapidly changing conditions explode across the Rockies. But the true nightmare begins once this storm reaches the plains. That is where the atmosphere may completely detonate. Forecasters are watching for a rapidly strengthening surface low to develop near the Colorado-Kansas border, the exact region responsible for some of the deadliest severe weather outbreaks in American history. And if that low deepens aggressively, everything changes. Warm Gulf air surging northward, explosive instability, extreme wind shear, jet stream energy screaming overhead. Those are the ingredients that produce violent tornado outbreaks. Not isolated storms, outbreaks. By late Thursday into Friday, millions across Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Missouri, and surrounding states could be facing an environment capable of producing destructive tornadoes, baseball-sized hail, hurricane-force winds, and fast-moving supercells racing across the plains after dark. And it doesn't stop there. Behind the severe weather comes another dangerous transition. As colder air crashes southward into the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, the system may begin changing rain into snow and ice. One small shift in storm track could determine whether cities see cold rain or a crippling ice storm capable of shutting down travel and knocking out power across multiple states. Meanwhile, farther south, another threat emerges. The southeast and deep south may face nighttime tornadoes, historically the deadliest type of tornado event in the country. People asleep, phones silenced, storms moving at highway speeds through darkness. That scenario alone has forecasters deeply concerned. And after all of it passes, the country may be left with a completely different weather pattern. Temperatures are expected to crash well below normal across much of the eastern United States, with freeze threats returning to areas that already believed spring had arrived. This is not a quick storm. This is a full-scale atmospheric reorganization stretching from coast to coast. Flooding, blizzard conditions, destructive severe weather, tornado threats, ice potential, dangerous cold, all inside the same 7-day window. The atmosphere is loading every weapon it has, and now it's taking aim at the entire country. And what makes this situation even more alarming is how many different weather extremes are colliding at the exact same time. Usually, the atmosphere focuses on one dominant threat. Maybe it's a flooding event. Maybe it's a severe weather outbreak. Maybe it's a winter storm. This setup is trying to do all of them at once. The energy diving out of the Pacific is unusually cold for this time of year, while the Gulf of Mexico is pumping massive amounts of heat and moisture northward into the center of the country. That contrast is creating a pressure cooker atmosphere, one capable of producing explosive storm intensification in a matter of hours. Forecasters are especially concerned about the speed at which the system may strengthen once it reaches the plains, because if rapid cyclogenesis begins, barometric pressure could start falling fast. And when pressure drops rapidly, the atmosphere responds violently. Winds intensify, storms rotate harder, temperature gradients sharpen, rainfall rates increase, tornado potential rises. This is how major national weather disasters are born. Satellite imagery already shows the Pacific jet stream roaring directly into the western United States like a fire hose pointed to the continent.
That jet stream energy is expected to transfer into the central U.S. late this week, where conditions become increasingly volatile. And now there are growing signs the severe weather corridor could expand farther east than originally projected. That means areas from Texas to the Ohio Valley may eventually face repeated rounds of dangerous thunderstorms capable of producing widespread damage over multiple consecutive days. Some storms may become nocturnal supercells. Those are among the most dangerous storms in America because they strike while people are sleeping. Visibility drops to zero, tornadoes become rain-wrapped, warning lead times shrink, and people often do not realize the danger until it is already on top of them. Forecasters are warning that overnight tornado rest may become one of the defining threats of this entire setup. At the same time, the flooding danger continues escalating. The atmosphere is expected to contain unusually high precipitable water values for May, meaning storms will have access to extreme amounts of moisture. If training thunderstorms develop, where storms repeatedly move over the same areas, rainfall totals could quickly become catastrophic. Roads could disappear underwater in minutes. Urban flash flooding may become severe in some metro areas, and rivers already running high from previous rainfall events may have little capacity left to absorb additional water. Meanwhile, behind the storm system, another dramatic shift unfolds. A surge of cold air pouring southward from Canada could trigger temperatures more typical of late winter to late spring across portions of the Midwest and Northeast. Some areas may see freezes return after extended warmth, threatening agriculture and damaging early season crops. That means the system is not only dangerous while it arrives, its aftermath could still create major impacts days later. Meteorologists often describe the atmosphere as a machine. Right now, every major piece of that machine is beginning to align at once. A powerful jet stream, deep Gulf moisture, cold upper-level energy, extreme instability, sharp temperature contrasts, strengthening low pressure. That combination does not happen often, and when it does, history shows it can produce some of the most disruptive weather events of the year. This is no longer just an active forecast. The United States is entering a high-impact, potentially dangerous weather pattern that could dominate headlines from coast to coast for days.